Knight.
I guess that's it then. If we can manage to shift Mrs. Harrison's appointment to the afternoon, and if Mr. Werner is definitely out of town until next week, that clears the morning.
Are you sure that it'll just be for the morning? Because I'm sure they'll have a court session in the afternoon, too.
And my car promised me I'd be the first witness on a stand tomorrow.
What about the opening formalities? They do take time.
Well, I assume they'll be very brief. This isn't taking place in a courtroom. It's just in a judge's chamber.
Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, you know, this whole thing is making me nervous. I'm just glad that I don't have to be there.
I'm not.
Oh. Well, I just meant that, a custody trial in its own way is often a lot worse than even a murder trial.
Well, there's one thing about this that makes me nervous.
What's that, Quentin?
Serena's state of mind. I know she has to be there, but I have no idea how she's going to hold up.
Oh, so that's why you're seeing her today instead of waiting for her regular appointment.
Yeah, I thought I'd see her so I could keep her on an even keel. She should be here in about 15 minutes.
Quentin, do you mind if I leave for lunch before she gets here, like, now?
You must be very hungry.
No. Actually, Kevin has asked if I could meet him on the stroke of 12 because he has to catch a plane this afternoon for Paris.
Really? It's the second time he's going to Europe, isn't it? Hey, he's becoming a foreign correspondent.
No, he's not going for the paper, actually. He's traveling for the Whitneys. He's supposed to see a doctor in Paris who has a patient who was in a coma who recovered.
Sure, go ahead. We can't have Kevin going off to foreign climes without a proper goodbye now, can we?
You don't mind?
No, not at all.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Phoebe. Quentin. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, come on in.
Listen, I'll see you later. Thank you.
I was hoping that you might have 5 minutes to talk about the trial tomorrow.
Oh, sure. Come on, sit down. I could use about 5 minutes of reassurance.
This portion of The Edge of Night is brought to you by Biz, the detergent booster you can add to your wash, and by Liquid Era, the powerful laundry detergent made to tackle even greasy, oily dirt.
This is going to be the best rummage sale ever, Alma.
Yeah, if we get all this washed.
Yeah.
Mother, what in the world?
Rummage sale. We're going to wash all this with my powders.
Powder? You know I like Era better.
A liquid? They're just for special jobs. Powder's fine.
We got real washing here, everything. Shirts, sheets, dirty coveralls, the real world, Clara. Oh, look at this dress. Bacon grease.
Mother, Era works on all the clothes I wash. Even that.
Maybe. But who can afford liquid these days?
If you can afford a powder, you can afford Era. It costs no more to use. A quarter of a cup cleans a regular wash load right down to the grease on this dress. Just rub a little in. The real world. Dirt and grease. 13 loads. And Era did it all.
Sure, there's greasy dirt Era won't get out completely, but it almost always does better than powders. Liquid Era outpowers the powders.
Told you I'd get her to do it, Alma.
And she didn't do bad, did she?
Quentin, I know this is going to be a bit difficult for you tomorrow.
I don't mind testifying, Mike. I'm only worried that my testimony will be more harmful than helpful.
There's no way around it. If I don't call you as a witness, the prosecution will. It can't be avoided.
No, I suppose not, since Mark is basing his entire case on the fact that Serena's an unfit mother for Timmy.
Well, that's the essential question. But before the judge makes her decision on that, there'll be a lot of other questions asked.
I've told you my position, Mike. I can only tell the court what I know about Serena's case. Unfortunately, there's not very much since therapy has just begun.
Well, I'm sure that Mark's intention is to make her appear to be a madwoman.
If she were really a madwoman, I'd have recommended confinement a long time ago. The fact that she's still walking around, that she's still a functioning human being should stand for something.
Yes, but Jaffe won't let it go at that. He'll hammer away at the dual personality aspect. He'll try to make her sound as if she's a female Jekyll and Hyde.
Well, there is a parallel, of course.
Well, not quite the same. When Serena becomes Josie, she doesn't go around injuring people.
No, she still has her common sense.
Of course, her morals do leave a little bit to be desired. But we have no hard and fast evidence that she becomes promiscuous, for instance. At least, I don't think that Mark and his attorney have such evidence.
Nor do I, but don't forget I haven't had much of an opportunity to talk to Josie. She's only made one appearance on this couch. And she wasn't willing to say very much.
Quentin, I think you know how I feel about this case. I don't consider it an adversary proceeding. It's not important who wins, Serena or her ex-husband. The important thing is Timmy's welfare.
I agree.
Now, if you can convince the judge that a cure is possible, I think we have a good chance of postponing the judgment on final custody.
Hi.
Hi.
So, how are you?
Well, I got in at 1 o'clock last night, and I have to be at the airport again in an hour.
Got your plane ticket?
Yes, I was just checking on my arrival time. I am going to have 1 case of jet lag, believe me.
Oh, what time did you get there?
4 o'clock in the morning at Orly Field in Paris, would you believe?
Oh, that's because of the time change. What is it, 6 hours ahead of us?
Well, actually, it's not so bad, because by the time I get the cab driver to understand me well enough to take me to my hotel, it's going to be 8 in the morning, and I'll be ready to start the day.
Come on, Kevin. You didn't do so badly the last time.
Well, the last time I was in the care of a group of English journalists. This time, I've got to visit a French hospital and make myself understood.
That does sound a little more difficult.
Well, it's not quite that bad. The Dr. Calmette, he spoke English fairly well. And I think the patient speaks English, too.
Well, that's terrific. That's lucky for you. You don't seem particularly ecstatic about making this trip.
No, I'm not even certain if the trip will do any good, Phoebe. If you want to know the truth, I don't think it will. But even if I can't help Geraldine, I suppose it's doing Tiffany good.
Well, you know, Kevin, I was wondering, this patient that you're going to see, this French woman, is her case anything at all like Geraldine's?
Well, I don't know how she came to be in a coma. I just know that she recovered, at least well enough to leave the hospital and take her own apartment.
So it was a complete cure.
Well, not exactly a complete cure. You see, the lady doesn't know who she is.
Dr. Clermont, you kept your promise after all.
My first house call in months is for you, Nicole.
Ah, but you're not here as my physician. You're here as my friend. Come in.
I know. I have lost your patronage since you have your personal physician, Dr. Jordan.
Ah, now, he's my friend, too. You see, I have absolutely no need of physicians anymore. All I really need is friends. I need them more than anything else in this world.
It's none of my business, but that young lady is adding Biz right along with her detergent. Biz is a pre-soak, Annie.
Sure, but Biz is also a great laundry additive, Mrs. Davis.
Even better than dry bleach?
Yeah, because Biz is dry bleach and then some. Biz gives your detergent more kinds of help than dry bleach or any other laundry additive. Try adding Biz.
Annie, you're right. This wash looks great.
Told you.
Biz. Add it to your wash.
No more, Mom. No more brownies.
Why so dry?
Try a cheaper mix.
Duncan Hines?
Duncan Hines liquid chocolate flavor packet makes batter moister than dry mixes. Moister batter, moister brownies.
Fudgy.
These are moister.
No more switching.
They want the moister brownie. Duncan Hines.
There you are.
Thank you.
Now, tell me more about this mysterious caller from the United States.
I've told you everything I know about the lady. Her name is Madame Douglas. A relative of hers is suffering from a coma, apparently similar to the one you suffered. And she heard about your miraculous recovery.
Do you honestly believe it was a miracle?
I honestly believe this is a very good drink.
Do you know where she was calling from?
America.
Now, I think America is a very large country, Doctor.
Frankly, I don't remember the name of the city. I don't remember if she told it to me. I presume it was New York. Perhaps it was Chicago, perhaps Los Angeles. Anyway, those are the only 3 cities I can name offhand.
You know, I think you know a great deal more about America than you admit. You'd have to. Your English is so good.
I was a very good English student. And you, I presume you were a very good French student.
You're really quite sure I wasn't born in France?
Positive, my dear. It's one of the few things about you that I can feel sure of.
Dr. Jordan says the same thing. He's quite convinced that I'm an American, which doesn't really quite explain what I'm doing here, does it?
Someday it will.
You think my memory is going to come back just like that, huh?
Possibly.
Just the way my mind came back suddenly, for no apparent reason.
Don't say for no apparent reason. You believe too much in your Dr. Jordan.
Well, how can I help but believe in him?
All right, all right. I don't want to shake your faith. He's in London again, you said?
Mm-hmm. Seeing his very famous patient, the Member of Parliament. He still won't tell me what his name is. Not that it would mean anything to me anyway.
But names do mean something to you, Nicole. Once you are told, you remember pretty well who everyone is. That's only your own identity which escapes you.
Yes, but I do have a name, don't I?
Yes?
Unless, of course, it was just given to me at the hospital. You know, the way they named Oliver Twist at the orphanage.
No, my dear. The physician on Guadeloupe told me that on the day you were brought at the hospital in Grande-Terre, you pronounced the name distinctly. You said Nicole.
Well, I haven't the slightest recollection of it. Nor of Guadeloupe, for that matter.
They are coming to Paris, you know.
Hmm? Who is?
Madame Douglas. I don't know if she's coming herself or if she's sending someone, but...
To see you or to see me?
Both of us, I assume. You as my miracle and me as your physician. But I have already warned the lady that there is very little I can say.
Then you didn't mention Dr. Jordan to her?
No, my dear. This is something I leave entirely to you.
You know what this is, darling? This is ghoulish.
Don't say things like that.
But it is. It's a form of voyeurism, staring down at a poor woman who can do nothing more than stare at the ceiling. Look, I'm sorry, darling, but I'm telling the truth.
You had a choice. You didn't have to come.
Oh, yes. But you were so upset about the last time I refused.
Well, I promise you that I will never force you to come again.
Even that isn't enough, Tiffany. I won't really feel right about this thing until you stop coming here, too.
Gwendolyn Knight on hidden camera, testing her favorite soap against Zest. She's dipping the figurines into her soap and water and Zest in water. Now she's rinsing.
I had the soap in my sister. I just didn't realize that my soap was giving me a fin like this.
So we asked her to try Zest at home.
This, the wrist really clean. With Zest, I felt like, wow, I'm really clean.
Try deodorant Zest. It'll make you feel cleaner than your soap.
Let me help bring these in.
My husband's helping?
Terrific French fries.
Oh, it's your French fries. They're good. Crisp. Sure, Crisco oil fries practically grease-free.
Look, I fried these French fries in 1 cup of Crisco oil. And see? Why, all the oil comes back. All but 1 tablespoon.
Great lunch.
Gonna help clean up, George?
Sure. I'll clean up the French fries.
Crisco oil fries practically grease-free.
Ladies, you can't squeeze the Charmin.
But this isn't Charmin, Mr. Whipple. This is new Charmin. Even more squeezably soft.
But
you can see, feel, and hear the difference. See the bigger puffs of softness?
But you can feel the difference.
Feel how much softer. You can even hear. It's
enough.
really...
No matter how irresistibly soft, please don't squeeze the new Charmin.
Mr. Whipple.
Introducing new Charmin. So much softer you can actually see, feel, and hear the difference.
No, I could never do that. Just abandon Mother.
Oh, you wouldn't be abandoning her. It's not as if she's in the slightest degree aware of your daily visits.
I'm not sure that's true.
Oh, yes, I know. You have some romantic notion about some deep-level awareness or some such nonsense. That whole idea is ridiculous. Or maybe it's because you're feeling guilty. Is that it?
Guilty? What do you mean?
About your mother-in-law. About the fact that she's dead and you're alive.
She is not dead, no.
She certainly is dead, isn't she? I mean, despite her open eyes.
Look at her hand.
Now, that's merely a physical reflex. That no more indicates life than leaves rustling on a tree.
It indicates a great deal more than that. Dr. Lacey said it proves that the damage to her spine was greatly overestimated.
Tiffany, I was there, remember? He never used the word proves.
Well, all right, it indicates. It means that it's possible that more and more of Mother's motor control could return.
And then what? She'll be like a little wooden doll, huh?
Well, wouldn't that be better than lying here in bed motionless? I mean, her muscles are getting increasingly weaker. Dr. Lacey says that staying in bed for so long without exercise is one of the greatest hazards.
Well, I can see that no amount of common sense will change your mind. That's why you visit the hospital daily, and that's why you send Kevin off to Paris on some wild goose chase.
No. I gave you permission never to come back here again. I give you permission to leave right now.
Haven't you had enough yet?
No. I'd rather stay with Mother for a while.
Well, I see. So you could watch her perform some more of her tricks, like popping open her eyes. Huh?
Get out.
I'll see you at home.
Hello?
Guess who?
No.
That's right. How are you, baby?
You really interested?
Of course I am. I'm interested in everything about you, Tracy.
It wasn't very long ago, Noel, that you said you didn't want to see me again. Do you remember that?
Yes, I know, but look, you were getting to be a pest there for a while. But now you're back to being the fascinating female you always were.
Is that so?
That's right, baby. In fact, I'm so fascinated that I can't wait to see you. That's why I'm calling, so we could arrange a little rendezvous. That's a switch, huh?
It certainly is a switch, so there must be a catch to it.
No, there's no catch. I just wanted to see you again, that's all. Just see you and talk to you. I want to hear all about you, honey. I especially want to hear how you pushed that nice lady down those stairs.
I should have known it was about that. I should never have told you that.
Who else would you tell, Kevin? Not that he wouldn't be interested, since the police suspect he did it.
I understand. You just want to gloat a little bit. Is that it?
No, look, honey, you got me all wrong. I never wanted to see you more in my whole life.
Well, I can't meet you the way we used to, Noel. Not anymore. I will see you for a drink, but that's all. You've got to remember I'm engaged now.
Don't worry, Tracy. All we'll do is talk.
That's right. And you better not tell anybody anything about what I say. Because you know nothing can happen to me that can't happen to you, Noel. If anybody finds out anything about that night, you have a lot more to lose than I do.
Hey. Look, don't threaten an old buddy, Tracy. Let's just arrange a time and place, huh?
No, I'm quite sure there won't be any other expert testimony regarding Serena. Javi's quite content to let you carry the ball yourself.
But what if you ask for more expert testimony?
How do you mean?
I have a friend, Dr. Paul Tobias. He's just completed treatment of a multiple personality case, successfully.
Well, it's a thought. A chappie might object on grounds that one case doesn't necessarily resemble the other.
And it'd be on pretty solid ground, too. No, I guess that's not the answer. I suppose I'll just have to go along with what you just suggested and carry the ball myself. There's my next patient.
Oh, I've overstayed my visit, Quentin.
Mrs. Faraday.
What happened to your girl?
She had an early lunch date.
I didn't know anybody else was here.
I was just leaving, Serena.
Oh, well, that's all right. Don't rush away on my account. I can stay outside. Wait a second. What's going on here? You two having a legal discussion?
Yes, that's it. We're having a legal discussion, Josie.
Our story continues after this message.
Mrs. Garnett, you use this leave-in cleanser, right?
Yes.
Why?
I think it was out of habit. I started using it years ago, and I automatically reached for it.
Well, how long have you been using this cleanser?
Over 20 years. I think it does the job. It does what I need.
All right, we want to compare Comet against your cleanser. This sink has tough food stains, pot marks, and cooking grease. So first we'll use the Comet. Pick either side you like. How's the Comet working?
Fine. They were deep stains.
Yes, they were. And let's clean the other side with an equal amount of your cleanser. All right? How's your cleanser doing?
Not as well. Well, not nearly as well as the other.
Mrs. Garnett, you be the judge. How did your cleanser do?
Oh, well, it didn't compare with Comet.
And how did the Comet do?
Beautifully, beautifully.
In what respect?
In saving time, for one thing. I think I spent less time cleaning the Comet side, or I saw quicker results. That's something. I'm really proud of myself.
Why?
Well, because that's what, if you're not open to new suggestions, that's what happens.
So what do you think now?
Maybe I've been spending 20 years cleaning more than I should have.
Comet does clean better. It can change your mind about cleansers.
You are a smart one, aren't you? What'd I do, Doctor? How'd I give it away? No, never mind. Don't bother. Forget it. Look, I really don't have to stay around here. I just came over because Serena decided she didn't want her head shrunk today.
Quentin, this is serious.
Well, it would be if it were permanent, but I assure you it isn't.
Wait a minute. You two talking about me?
We were just discussing the fact of your last visit when your sister couldn't make it.
Oh, what's wrong with that? You get paid just the same, don't you?
There's nothing wrong. As I told you, I'm always very happy when you decide to see me. I think I can help you.
Can't help somebody who doesn't need help, Doctor.
I think you do. And I think you know you do.
Is that so?
You see, I think you're as concerned about this custody suit as your sister is.
Well, what if I am? Look, I don't want that creep to get the kid any more than she does, okay?
Then don't you think you ought to help her, Josie?
Help her how?
By not spoiling her chances of winning the case.
Don't worry, I won't spoil a thing.
You might. If you show up in the judge's chambers tomorrow, the case will be lost.
Hey, now, that's not a very nice thing to say to me, is it?
I'm sure you understand what Mike is saying, Josie. Mark Faraday is basing his entire case on the premise that Serena is an unfit mother.
That's crazy. Look, she's a lot of things. I mean, she's stupid, she's dull, she's dumb, she's mouthy, but she's a good mother. She loves that kid. He's the only thing in the whole world she cares about.
And you don't want her to lose, do you?
Now, how's she gonna lose? She's got a hot-shot lawyer. You're the best in the business, aren't you, honey?
This case is a lot more difficult than you realize.
And I'm the difficulty. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it?
Well, I'm afraid that Judge Sussman wouldn't understand about you, Josie.
She won't have to understand, will she? Because you don't intend to go to court tomorrow, do you?
I don't know yet.
Josie.
You stop. Look, I don't like being told what to do and what not to do.
Josie, your interest and Serena's are one and the same.
The hell you say?
The truth. Particularly when that interest is Timmy. And unless you leave Serena alone, unless you let her handle this custody suit, You're going to spoil everything for both of you.
Leave me alone. I don't want to be lectured. I didn't come here for that.
Josie, think about this very carefully. Only Serena must come to court tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Get rid of him. Get him out of here. Come on, it's your office. You can get him out.
I won't do that.
Okay, then I go. That's it. I leave now.
Josie, wait. Well, now what?
If she shows up tomorrow, it's all over.
People wonder how a general store like ours still does a nice business. Well, Grandpa Thomas, he started the store. He gave me the secret. Polly, he said, if a customer buys a few yards of gingham, throw in a pair of scissors for a few pennies. He built a nice business giving value that way. Times change, but some of that spirit of value still goes on, like does here. Folks buy a lot of it, and little wonder. And see this? A beautiful American Concord glass, early American design, rich amber color, nice and hefty and practical. And the detergent? Mere Jimmy. Takes a strong one like does to make Jimmy's dirty apron come out clean. Why, I swear, folks would buy does even if it didn't have a glass in it. There you are. Modern, hard-working detergent. Traditional tumbler I'm proud to set on my table. Now, that's what I call honest American value.
Tune in again for The Edge of Night. This portion of The Edge of Night has been brought to you by Does. Now, with the beautiful American Concord glass, Does, honest American value. And by Comet, the cleanser that disinfects as it cleans. Program was recorded. Stay tuned for Match Game 75, which follows on most of these CBS stations. This is Hal Sims, inviting you to join us each weekday afternoon for The Edge of Night.
This is life. This cuts it short.